Good afternoon, students. In today's class, we are going to discussing about DC servo motor and AC servo motor and how it is working and how we can find the transfer function for DC servo motor and AC servo motor. So before going to finding the transfer function, first of all, you have to know that how the DC servo motor and AC servo motor are working and what is the difference between normal motor and servo motor. So after that, you can get clarity to determine the transfer function. So let's move on to the topic. Right. So do you know that what is the difference between DC servo motor and DC motor? Or both are same? How we can differ DC servo motor and DC motor? See, I will tell you the example of difference between DC servo motor and DC motor. Now, if you see that the rotation of DC motor, it is continuously rotating at 360 degrees. But in case of DC servo motor, it should be rotating based on our requirement of angle. This type of motor we are using at toll gates. So if you observe the toll gates, it should be open and close within a certain angle, right? This is the advantage of servo motor. So we can fix the rotor shaft at certain angle. So that can be achieved in the DC servo motor. Now in this concept, we are going to be design the transfer function of DC servo motor and AC servo motor and how it is working. So before that, let me see that what is servo mechanism. Right. The servo mechanism is one in which the output is some mechanical variable like position, velocity, acceleration. Here, such systems are generally automatic control system which works on the error signal. So based on the error signal, it should be actuate. So what is the angle has to be rotated the shaft. Now the error signal are amplified to drive the motors used in such a system. So here the servo motor is completely based on that error. So based on the error signal, the servo motor will be working. And these motors are used in servo systems or called as servo motors. These motors are used to convert electrical signal applied into angular velocity and moment of shaft. So here already you guys know that for motor we are applying the input is electrical energy and getting the mechanical energy as an output. So here also we are giving that electrical energy as an input and it converts to that angular velocity and moment of shaft. So what is the difference between velocity and angular velocity? What is the difference between velocity and angular velocity? Or both are same? Can you see the difference between these two, right? What is the difference between velocity and angular velocity and how we can differ that? If you know this difference, then only you can understand the concept. Otherwise, you can't. Anybody? Right. Velocity in the sense, the velocity is a measurement of an object should be moving in linear direction. So then we can say the factor we can say that velocity. When an object is rotating in a circular motion, then we can say it is an angular velocity. So here the rotor shaft of the motor is rotating in circular motion, right? That's why we are calling it as an angular velocity. So this is the function of servo mechanism and servo motors. Now let me see that what are the requirements of good servo motor. Suppose if you are going to be if you want to be use a servo motor, you need to check the certain requirements of a servo motor. Let me see that what are the requirements. The first one is relation between control signal and rotor speed over a wide range. So the first requirement is it is a linear relationship. It means that the control signal which is directly proportional to the rotor speed. So how much of control signal it is applied, that much of rotor speed should have to be given as output. So that is called as linear relationship. Linear relation means the parameters which are directly proportional. And second thing is inertia of rotor should be low as possible. A servo motor must stop running without any time delay if control signal is removed. Okay. So here inertia is act as a vital role, because if you see that normal motor, DC motor, after switch of the supply, so if the supply and off, still it is going to be rotating because of inertia. Suppose if you take the bicycle, సో మీరు సైకిల్ తొక్కేటప్పుడు బాగా స్పీడ్ రొటేట్ తొక్కి తర్వాత వదిలేసాం అనుకోండి, సో స్టిల్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కంటిన్యూస్లీ రొటేటింగ్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ఇనర్షియా. But for servo motor, the inertia should not be considered, because when the control signal is removed from the input, the servo motor should be actuated within a time, so without any delay. That can be achieved when there is no inertia. So see, inertia of rotor should be low as possible. So enta inertia takku unte aa rotor anedi rotate kaakunda ventane aagipotundi anamata. Next, it should be easily reversible. So how we can reverse the direction of motor? ఒక మోటార్ యొక్క డైరెక్షన్ ని ఎలా రివర్స్ చేయొచ్చు? వాట్ ఇస్ ద పాసిబుల్ వేస్? How we can make reversible direction? Right. Generally, if it is DC motor, you can interchange the terminals, that is positive and negative, so then you can reverse the direction of rotor. So here also it is possible. So మీరు ఆ సర్వో మోటార్ అని చూస్తే ఒకవేళ ఫార్వర్డ్ డైరెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది, అగైన్ ఇట్ విల్ బ్యాక్ టు ద డైరెక్షన్. సో లైక్ టోల్ గేట్ ఓకేనా, టోల్ గేట్ కానీ రైల్వే గేట్ కానీ ఒకసారి ఒక డైరెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది, ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ ఇట్ విల్ కమ్ టు ద రివర్స్ బ్యాక్. సో ఇట్ షుడ్ బి రివర్సిబుల్ ఇట్స్ డైరెక్షన్. దట్ ఈస్ ద మెయిన్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ గుడ్ సర్వో మోటార్. నెక్స్ట్, ఇట్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ linear torque speed characteristics, because the mechanical output what we are getting, that it should be having that linear torque speed characteristic, then only we can obtain the proper output from the device. Next, its operation should be stable without any oscillations or overshoot. So these two are disturbances. If the disturbances happen in the system, then there is a malfunctioning happen. So that's why it is negligible of oscillations and overshoot. So these are the main requirements for the good servo motor. Next, let me see the types of servo motor. Here the types of servo motor is mainly based on the source of supply. So we have only two sources supply. One is DC source and AC source. Now mostly in real time applications, these two kind of servo motors are used. One is DC servo motor and AC servo motor, and some rare conditions we can use the special servo motors. It is also called as hybrid servo motor. Now let me see that what are the different types of DC servo motor. Based on the controlling process, the DC servo motor is classified into two types. One is armature control and field control. So here, where the armature winding is provided in the DC motor, stator or rotor? Where the armature winding is provided in the motor? Stator or rotor? Just tell me that where is stator and rotor. So where which winding we are providing on stator and which winding we are providing on the rotor? Give me the answer for these two questions. Which winding is providing on rotor and which winding is providing on stator?
Copper wire on rotor.
Okay, copper. I'm not asking material. So we have the armature winding and field winding, right? Armature winding stator lo provide చేస్తారు, rotor provide చేస్తారా?
Field winding వచ్చి rotor sir, armature winding వచ్చి stator sir.
Wrong అండి. Field winding is providing on stator and armature winding is providing on the rotor. Okay na? So already you guys have studied in ET electrical technology construction of DC machine. Okay na? So field winding, that is field. So field winding is providing on the stator and armature winding is providing on the rotor. Now, so why the DC servo motor is classified into these two terms? Already you guys have studied the speed control of DC motors. So we have the three methods. One is flux control method, armature control method, and supply voltage control method. Here, the flux control method we can control from the field side, armature control method from armature side. So that's why the DC servo motor is classified into two types: armature control and field control, based on the controlling action. And AC servo motor and special servo motor. So we are in this topic, we are going to be derive the transfer function about these two, DC servo motor and AC servo motor. Now first of all, we'll see that what is DC servo motor and what is types. Right. Basically the DC servo motor is more or less same as normal DC motor. So it is completely, well, construction point of view, these two are similar. The only difference is way of working. And there are some minor differences between these two. So let me see that what are these two. All DC servo motors essentially excited type. Excited type means it is a separately excited motor. Okay, now this ensures linear torque speed characteristics. So due to this reason, we will get that torque speed characteristics are linear in this type of motor. Now the control of DC servo motor can be from field side or from armature. So if you want to control the DC servo motor, you can take the controlling action from the field side or armature side. Depending on this, these are classified into two types. One is field control DC servo motor and armature control DC servo motor. Right. Now let me see that field control DC servo motor. Now this is the circuit diagram for DC servo motor, and this part. So this is the part represents the field winding, and this is the part represents the armature winding. Now here, this is the field control DC servo motor, right? Now I am going to be controlling action from the field side, and it is making as constant. So in this motor, the controlled signal obtained from the servo amplifier. So here there is a servo amplifier. From this, the signal will coming here to this field winding, applied to the field winding. With the help of constant current source, the armature current is maintained constant. So we are going to be controlling this from the field side, right? That's why we are keeping that armature winding as a constant current source. Now it should be constant. The only variables happening in the field side. Based on this variation, then we can control the speed of the DC servo motor. So that's why it is called as field control DC servo motor, because the controlling action is happened from the field winding side, and here armature winding is keep constant. Okay. Now in this concept, we are going to be derive the transfer function about this device. So in transfer function, it consists of field winding parameters, armature winding parameters, and mechanical parameters. By changing these parameters, we can find that how it is working based on the parameters changes. Next, this type of DC motor has large LF by RF ratio, whereas LF is reactance of field winding and RF is resistance of field winding. Due to this, the time constant of motor is high. So you seen in a transient, that is a network analysis in transient ఓకే, ట్రాన్సియెంట్ రెస్పాన్స్ ఒక టాపిక్ లో ఆర్ఎల్ సిరీస్ సర్క్యూట్, ఆర్సి సిరీస్ సర్క్యూట్ చదివారు కదా. సో అక్కడ టైం కాన్స్టెంట్ ఐ ఆఫ్ టీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు 1 minus e power minus 1 by tau. So tau ane time constant, this is a value L by R. So this type of DC motor has large L by R ratio. Okay na? Due to this time constant of motor is high, this means it cannot give rapid response to the quick changing control signals. Ante మనకు సిగ్నల్స్ అనేవి చాలా స్పీడ్ గా చేంజ్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి. So based on that, it should not be giving the rapid response. That should be done by this large amount of L by R ratio. Okay, now, let me see that what is the features of field control DC servo motor. So this is important for 2 marks. So the main features of field control DC servo motor is, first, it is preferred for small rated motors. Why? Because the field winding having that more losses, including iron losses and copper losses. That's why this type of servo motor is using for that small rated motors. Okay, na? Next one is it has a large time constant. Third one is control circuit is simple to design and it is open loop system. So the fourth, you can see the fourth one. And so tell me that it is a automatic system or not automatic system. If it is open loop, what we can say? Automatic or not automatic? What we call open loop control system? Automatic control system or not automatic control system?
Not automatic, sir.
Right, because it doesn't have the feedback. So this is the reason why this kind of servo motor is using for the small data motors, and it is very rare to use in real time applications. Okay, so maximum ఎక్కువ armature control DC servo motor use చేస్తారు when compared to the field control DC servo motor. Okay, now let us see that how we can derive the transfer function for this field control DC servo motor. So here we have to formulate that first of all equations. Based on that, we have to find the transfer function. Let me see this. So the speed of DC motor is directly proportional to that armature voltage and inversely proportional to the flux. Yeah, so this can be achieved from EMF equation. And so torque already is directly proportional to that IA, and torque is directly proportional to IA square. So ఈ రెండు కండిషన్స్ ఎక్కడెక్కడ వస్తాయి? At what condition these two are possible? టార్క్ డైరెక్ట్ ప్రపోర్షనల్ IA అనేది ఏ మోటార్ కి వస్తుంది, ఇది ఏ మోటార్ కి వస్తుంది? So this condition is applied for DC shunt motor, and this is condition applied for DC series motor. Okay, so from these two conditions we can simply say that the speed of DC motor is directly proportional to that armature voltage. So this condition we can apply from the EMF equation. E is equals to P pi NZ divided by 60A. So this is the EMF equation formula, right? So here, what is E here? What is E here? Students, what is representation of E here?
Voltage, sir.
Right. That is not voltage. We have to call as induced EMF on the armature. And from this equation, we can say that E is directly proportional to the speed. We can based on the induced EMF, we can obtain the speed. So that is the conditions. The speed of DC motor is directly proportional to the armature voltage and inversely proportional to the flux. Okay. Suppose if the flux is come here, then the speed is inversely proportional to flux. Okay. Now in field control DC, so from this relation, N is directly proportional to the induced EMF, that is armature voltage, and inversely proportional to flux. Okay. Now, if I want to increase the speed, what about flux?
Decrease, sir.
Right. So now the speed of DC servo motor is controlled in two parameters. One is from armature side, another one is field side. If you are going to be controlling from field winding side, then you can control the flux. If you are controlling action turn from armature side, you can control the EMF. So manamu ippudu field control kabatti, then N is inversely proportional to the flux. In this condition, E is constant. So armature అనేది constant అవుతుంది. Then we can control the field flux. Then we can control the speed. See here. In field control DC motor, the armature voltage is kept constant and the speed is varied by varying the flux of machine. So ఇప్పుడు మనకు speed increase అవ్వాలంటే flux ని reduce చేయాలి. So how the flux will be related? Flux అనేది దేని వల్ల ప్రొడ్యూస్ అవుతుంది? Due to the current flowing. When the field current is flowing through the field winding, the flux will be generated. Okay, now since the flux is directly proportional to the field current, the flux is varied by the, so ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఫ్లక్స్ అనేది మీరు డైరెక్ట్ గా వేరీ చేయలేరు. ఇఫ్ యూ వేరీ ద ఫీల్డ్ కరెంట్, దెన్ ఇట్ కెన్ బి వేరీ. ఓకేనా, ఒకవేళ మీరు ఫీల్డ్ కరెంట్ పెంచితే ఫ్లక్స్ కూడా పెరుగుతుంది. ఇఫ్ ద ఫ్లక్స్ ఈజ్ ఇంక్రీజెస్, స్పీడ్ విల్ బి రిడ్యూస్. ఓకేనా, సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద రిలేషన్ బిట్వీన్ దీస్ త్రీ. Field winding and flux both are directly proportional and it is inversely proportional to the speed. Okay. Now the speed control system is an electromechanical control system. Why? Because in this concept it is both including electrical and mechanical system. Now the electrical system consists of armature and field circuit, but for analysis purpose. సో ఇక్కడ మనకు ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పర్పస్ తీసుకుంటే ఆర్మేచర్ వైండింగ్, ఫీల్డ్ వైండింగ్ తీసుకుంటాము. మెకానికల్ పర్పస్ తీసుకుంటే రొటేటింగ్ పార్ట్స్, రోటర్ షాఫ్ట్, లోడ్ తీసుకుంటాం. ఓకేనా. నౌ ద ఫీల్డ్ కంట్రోల్ ఆఫ్ DC servo motor is shown in figure. Now we'll see that the circuit diagram of field control DC servo motor. Right. So this is the circuit diagram and it is the entire circuit is so this is the field winding and it is the armature winding. Now you can see here the field winding consists of RF and LF, that is field winding resistance and field winding reactance, and from armature side it is kept constant and we have to be variable from the rotor stator side. Okay. Now these are the notations we are using: RF field resistance, field reactance, field current, field voltage, torque constant, moment of inertia, frictional coefficient. Now we are going to be formulate the equations. So first I am going to be considering the field winding. This is the field winding. From this circuit I am going to be formulate the equation according to the KCL. V is equals to I into R. So here V is VF and it is equals to IF into RF plus LF into DIF by dt. So this is the equation. So first equation we have to be formulate that electrical circuit. So that is the field winding. So this is the field winding equation from the Kirchhoff voltage law. Just it is noted as equation 1. Next. So next we have to be consider the mechanical parts. Mechanical parts consist of torque, moment of inertia, frictional coefficient. Okay. For this I am going to be find that equation. So already we discussed it, right? The torque is directly proportional to that armature current. So torque is directly proportional to armature current. But here we are going to be controlling from the field side, right? Torque is directly proportional to IF. So if you want to eliminate this proportion, T is equals to KTF into IF. So this is the equation 2. See, the torque of DC motor is proportional to product of flux and armature current. Since armature current is constant, in this type, the torque is proportional to flux. So, మామూలుగా T armature torque విన్నారు armature pi IA అని ఓకేనా. సో ఇక్కడ ఆర్మేచర్ కరెంట్ కాన్స్టెంట్ అయినప్పుడు ఓన్లీ ఫ్లక్స్ ఇస్ వేరియబుల్. సో ఫ్లక్స్ ఎలా వేరీ అవుతుంది బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద ఫీల్డ్ కరెంట్ ఓకేనా. రైట్. Now the mechanical system of the rotor is shown in figure. The differential equation governing the mechanical system. So here T is an input. T is equals to J into d square theta by dt square plus B into d theta by dt. So this is equation 3. Now by using these three equations, we are going to be find the transfer function. So finally, the transfer function we can obtain torque divided, that is theta divided by V of S. So that is displacement divided by velocity, voltage. Now we are going to be taking that Laplace transform to these three equations. So these are the three equations we obtained. One is from electrical circuit, that is field circuit, KF IF plus LF into, so this is not KF, it is RF. RF IF plus LF and DIF by dt is equal to V. So this is the equation we obtained from field winding circuit, and this is the torque equation, and this is from mechanical circuit. Now from this equation we have to apply the Laplace transform. So if you apply the Laplace transform, then you will get RF I of S plus LF S into, so ikkada S ela ochindi because it is a first order differentiation, I of S plus V of. So tell me one thing, why the current and voltage having the S domain and remaining not having? ఎందుకు కరెంట్ I of S V of S వచ్చింది, రెసిస్టెన్స్ కి ఇండక్టెన్స్ ఎందుకు రాలేదు? Because the current and voltage are varies with respect to the S domain, that is okay now. Now this is the torque equation when we apply the Laplace transform. T of S is equals to KTF IF of S. Next to apply the Laplace transform to third equation, you will get J into S square theta of S plus B into S into theta of S is equals to T of S. Now by simplifying these three equations, we can get that we can get the final transfer function. Now from here just I am going to be substitute 5 in 6. So if you substitute 5 and 6, then what you will get? Js square theta of S plus Bs theta of S equals to, here instead of T of S I can substitute KTF and IF of S. Now I want to IF of S formula here. IF of S is equal to, remain this term comes to the denominator. So let me see this. Right. So equating equation 5 and 6, both are having the same. So then we will get the IF of S equation. Now this IF of equation substitute in fourth equation, then you will get the formula is theta of S divided by V of S. Why? Because in this problem the input is voltage, field voltage, and output is angular displacement theta. Okay na? So the transfer function requires theta of S divided by Vf of S. So we will get KTF divided by S into RF plus SLF. So manaku ikkada 1 plus ST domain lo undali, form lo undali. Okay na? So that's why I am going to be take RF and B, both are constant. You will get 1 plus S into LF by RF into 1 plus S into J by B. Okay na? So this is the equation we will get. Now if you take that RF and B denominator, then you will get, it is called as Km. So Km here, Km is KTF divided by RF into B. Next LF by RF we can say it is TF, S by B it is TF. So enduku LF RF ante these two are belongs to the field winding, that's why I substitute TF, that is a time constant for field winding, and J and B these two are mechanical parts, that's why I substitute TM. So that is time constant of mechanical parts. Okay na? Right. So this is about field transfer function of field controlled DC servo motor. In next class we will see that armature controlled DC servo motor. So okay students, this is about today class. Now I am going to end this class now. Thank you.